Well, Chelsea is hosting Manchester United at Stamford Bridge. That is tomorrow. It's going to be a Saturday, and that game is really going to be taking place at Stamford Bridge, and that is Manchester United playing away at a side which goes by the names of Chelsea, and that is going to be 19:30 hours. That is evening time, and this is what you're going to be really doing tomorrow in here onto this channel, United Matters channel. We're excited with what is happening at Manchester United. That win against Spurs, very solid performance by Manchester United, and it was almost involving in everything that the Ten Hag ball requires: intensity, pressing, tiki-taka football. You get those long balls, sitting down players. Creativity was way high because United had 28 shots, and out of the 28 shots, 10 were on target. I believe no team has registered such stats this season in the Premier League. Not so because I saw Ten Hag really saying that it's one of the best attacks that have been really orchestrated on the field of play by any Premier League team this season. So guys, Rokan David is my name. Welcome to United Matters channel. We are here to break down the game of Chelsea versus Manchester United, and obviously this is the channel that does strictly Manchester United. We're not going to go so much into Ronaldo because that has been decided. He has been suspended until further notice. So let's wait and see, when is Ronaldo going to go back to the training ground of Manchester United, because Erik ten Hag took a decision and the club really backed it 100%, and Ronaldo is not going to be part of the United squad that is going to be traveling to Chelsea, and there is no reason for us to talk about him because that makes him irrelevant as far as this game of football is really concerned. So as things go on right about now, let's get into what we call the stats of these two games, because before we bring you the big digest, or let me first bring you the predicted lineup, or how I believe United is going to stand. Then we go deep into what we call the digest of the game of football. Now, United really has a very good squad. Very many players are returning from injury. We are having Harry Maguire has returned, Brandon Williams has returned, Donny van Beek is returned, and I believe Anton Martial today in the presser, Erik ten Hag is going to tell us how has returned, because they had to do a late assessment ahead of the game of Spurs and he never passed it. Even Eriksson just went for a late fitness test, and obviously he managed to come on and really play like 10 minutes. Obviously that shows you that Anton Martial is not far away from returning, and if at all he really missed out on late fitness test during that game of football, obviously we have to go in and really do what we see. We have to go on and see what the manager is going to tell us in the press that's happening around lunchtime today at Carrington. Now, the system is going to be 4-2-3-1. Obviously, that is the favorite system that Erik ten Hag fancies to play with. And obviously, we are going to be having the following in goal. No doubt, obviously, David De Gea improving his game of play, especially the distribution, because nowadays the goalkeeper is 100% involved into a total play of this game of football through those reference passes, the ball distribution, playing away from his 18 yards box, and obviously doing those saves. Way back, the keeper was so much known for being a shot stopper, but right now the guy is known for being a ball playing goalkeeper, and I think it's really going to cut out everything that people are really talking about. A man who goes by the name David De Gea that is not a good goalkeeper, good at distribution. He's improving, and it shows you that by the end of the season, Erik ten Hag will have to go on and tell his scouts that, all right, I needed Diego Costa from FC Porto, but I believe David De Gea is a world-class goalkeeper and has proven to me that he's a better ball distribute in this game of football. But I believe for David De Gea, it's easy for him to go in and really learn this, because for the goalkeeper, there is no one behind him. You get? But if I tell you are playing the midfield, or as a center forward, or a wide forward, obviously we have to observe who is behind you and who is in front of you. You are being attacked from side to side, but David De Gea gets that ball and looks through and then makes that perfect pass. And as the manager told us after that loss of Brentford, where David De Gea did 2 howlers, that he does that perfect in training, he has gone ahead and really not ashamed Erik ten Hag. In that game of Spurs, he had a very good game distribution, coming off the line quickly, and obviously doing great in those saves that really made for Manchester United against a team which goes by the names of Spurs. The right back, Obviously, I believe it's really going to be Diego Dallo, but the return of Brandon Williams really helps him really get a rest. And I believe in that game of Europa League, it's going to be Brandon Williams to play into that right back position because, trust me, Diego Danilo needs a rest. This is going to be him playing how many games? When you add the Premier League games, we are going to be playing the 11th game in the Premier League, meaning that he has played every minute in the 10 games we've played. That means played 900 minutes. And obviously in the UEFA Europa League, the only 2 games he was rested, and he played only 45 minutes. The one against Real Sociedad and the one against Sheriff. Like in the 60th minute, Malacia was shifted to play as a right back. You get? So I believe he's good. I saw him really go forward a lot. He brought in like 3-4 crosses in the penalty box area of a team which goes by the names of Spurs. When you look, I think only one was really on target. You get the other one was really headed badly by Bruno. The other one was not met by Rashford. Rashford really headed it badly, but obviously I believe he has to improve on his technique because I believe it's always better to put in a stretchy cross that is really in the rib sides of the defenders because it's very hard for the defender to defend such a cross, and if at all it's so much pinpoint, it can find your player and obviously node it at the back of the net easily. So I believe Diego Dallo should go in for that effort, but I believe he's really doing great and is one of the best right backs we are having in the Premier League. And obviously, if at all that Luke Shaw goal really went in through, that was saved by Hugo Lloris, it would have been a different statement altogether. We need to see him really creating lots of chances from that side, and we will call the same thing from the left back of Manchester United. So Dallo starting on the right back, and I believe all of you are really agreeing with me that he should start onto the left back position of Manchester United. Then we go to the left back. Luke Shaw, I believe, is going to retain his position as the manager prepares to really rest him in the game of Sheriff, where United is going to be playing Sheriff on Thursday next week in the UEFA Europa League. Shaw is going to get a rest because he has been playing very many games, but he has been playing on merit. This is what I love about Erik ten Hag. Every player that plays this game of football plays on merit. There is no favoritism like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer used to do, like Jose Mourinho used to do. You step on that field of play because you have really put in an effort that has convinced the manager that you are really at that level. So Luke Shaw is really a very good player, and I think he acts better when there is competition. Whenever he senses competition, he ups his game. I believe Luke Shaw played his best season for United in the season of 2020-2021, and that was when Alex Telles was brought in from FC Porto. With the stats that we are written all over Alex Telles' profile, you expected everything to go on the way that we wanted it to be. And obviously, we expected Luke Shaw to have a problem, but Luke Shaw really just upped his game, and he even got a name that Shobato, you get, coming in from Roberto Carlos, you get. So they called him Shobato because he played very well, and even Roberto Carlos came out and really hailed him in the Euros and said that guy really is the best left back in the world. So when Malacia comes in through, Luke Shaw had 2 bad games. Malacia played some close to 5-6 games, and Luke Shaw was just coming in, and some of them Luke Shaw was really getting injured. Malacia came in through, played very well. After having a bad game against City, Luke Shaw came in through and played very well. Came in the second half against a side which goes by the names of Omonia, and ever since then Luke Shaw has been the starter into the left back position of Manchester United. So I believe that Luke Shaw is going to go on and really play very well, but I'm demanding more crosses. The crosses he put into the cross into the box of Tottenham Hotspur, we are lacking direction. Lacked a sense of direction. It was like he was just taking them aimlessly. I want to see him really crossing that ball, targeting a player of United in the box, because he used to put in close to 3-4 crosses into that 18-yard box area of Spurs, especially in the first half, when there was no United players. So what was the essence of him putting that ball in the box? So I want to see him like Dallo targeting a United player, like Dallo targeted him and it went in for a volley that was saved by a man who goes by the names of Hugo Lloris. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see from a man who goes by the names of Luke Shaw. So I want to see our creativity being broadened by Luke Shaw and Dallo creating more chances. And if at all they really do, I'll come here and really hail them in the match reaction and my next match preview. So I believe we should really go ahead and really look at this in a very perspective way that really helps us go further. Now, after that, there is these central defenders. Obviously, I believe no one doubts this, that unless otherwise an injury comes in through, but obviously Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane are the ideal central back partnership that everyone is talking about. They pocketed Son Heung-min and Harry Kane to an extent that we forgot about them. The only threat we got from Harry Kane was towards the end of the first half and I think towards the second goal of Manchester United, where David De Gea really had to make those two near post saves. But I believe they closed them down and they pocketed them very well. And I saw Rafael Varane saying that we denied them spaces, you get, and we closed that distance behind us and the goalkeeper very well, to an extent that they couldn't really find a through pass to really release them. Because if at all, Spurs, you have to press them, as you saw United press them, and really get yourself to the levels of suffocating the midfield and not see them finding pockets of space to release Harry Kane and Son Heung-min, because that's the game of football they play. And you look that every time Spurs try to attack, they try to attack from the wide areas. Centrally, Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane said no to them, and they really said, we are not going to operate into this area. And that's what really happened in this game of football as United played a side which goes by the names of Tottenham Hotspur. So I believe we have that complete back five, kept 2 clean sheets consecutively, one against Newcastle, one against Spurs, obviously, and obviously the other one against Omoni at Old Trafford. So I believe we are really getting back to the levels of where I want to be, because clean sheets win trophies and goals win matches. Because every time you concede lots of goals, then your chances of really winning a trophy are really narrow. Because if your opponent capitalizes on really keeping clean sheets, he will know that whenever I get one goal, I'll be so much confident of my result. Like in this game of Spurs, the moment we got that one goal, I knew the game was done, because I know that we are having one of the best central defenses and the best back four that really defends very well. So Varane and Lisandro Martinez are going to be taking on Aubameyang, you get, and Raheem Sterling. Obviously, I know they're really going to close them down in that game of football. Then we go to the double midfield pivot. Obviously, Scott McTominay is back, but obviously this man, Casemiro, he has gone ahead to silence very many people. I saw very many people coming out on him, talking bad things about him, and I said, you don't know the player talking about. Casemiro is really a different kind of player, different crop of player, and I believe people never knew what he is all about and what he's tailored about or tailored in. This guy is tailor-made to play as a CDM, but he does everything perfectly. Getting that ball from the back four and then passing it or connecting it to the midfield is another job that he does better. And obviously, he shields the back four very well. And you've seen it that every time he's playing that CDM role, United are safe. You remember in that game of Man City, after Man City putting 4 past us in the first half, the manager brought in Casemiro and played 30 minutes. But those 30 minutes, we looked solid. Going forward, he distributed that ball better than Scott McTominay, and we obviously again went ahead and really got a result that really was not so much annoying, though it was annoying. We got 3 goals when Casemiro was out on the field of play with Anton Martial. So I believe Casemiro really played better in that game of Spurs. He played better in that game of Newcastle. He played better in that game of Everton. And obviously having a person like him really gives us a very good edge while heading to the Stamford Bridge, because he's going to edge that midfield out. No midfielder in that Chelsea side can go on and really match his levels. I think the only one would be N'Golo Kante, but N'Golo Kante is out for 3 months. He's injured. Don't expect him to play any role in this game of football. So we are going to be facing the likes of Jorginho, Conor Gallagher, Kovacic. That is the midfield of Chelsea, and I believe it's really going to be so much weak according to how we are really going to be standing with Casemiro. So I believe Casemiro is going to come in there and play very well. Obviously, he'll do everything, and obviously you will not need another player to get the ball off that back foot and really pass through or connect it to the or connect the midfield to the attack, because Casemiro will do that. And people were saying that we need another player to go on and do that alongside Casemiro. Casemiro does it better, and even going forward, he has been doing better. Remember that he could even register a goal in the game of Everton, in the game of Newcastle. They fouled him in the 6 yards box area, meaning that he even spares some time to go on and really go into that area. Even in that game of Newcastle, remember, there is a pass he used, the pass he directed to Marcus Rashford using the outside of his foot, and Rashford really headed it way over the bar, and I believe it would have been really a goal if Atoli had found a player who is really a good header of the ball. So this guy is adding out to the team, and obviously no one is talking about his price now. You see, in this game of football, it's like you're sick and you're having the money. They tell you that you should spend $1 million to save your life. If I told you have millions of dollars, like 100 of them, getting one out of it and really rescue or save your life, is it something much? Is it something so much asked? But I remember there is a rich man in my locality where I stay. They told him that you need close to $300,000 to really save your life. He had prostate cancer. Do you know what he said? Let me die. And he died. So you see how selfish people are with money. But Casemiro is going to start into that double midfield pivot. Alongside who? This is where the big question is. There is Scott McTominay. There is Eriksen. There is Freddy Rodriguez, who really had a very good game against a team which goes by the names of Spurs. And it's really tricky. And this is the biggest question Erik ten Hag has to answer on Saturday, because he's having Eriksen, he's having Freddy Rodriguez and Scott McTominay. These two players, Eriksen and Scott, started off the season and they improved and played better in that double midfield pivot. But Freddy came in through and put in an intensity in the game of Newcastle, though his passing was abysmal, but he really pressed the Newcastle side and really made it hard for them to play. Freddy came into the game of Tottenham Hotspur, did the same thing. He improved on his passing. He had close to 4 shots on target and even registered a goal. And even the second goal, he was involved in it and obviously put in a man of the match performance. And Eriksen returned, was brought on the field of play and played some 10-15 minutes. Now, who is the manager going to go for in a game like this of a team which goes by the names of Chelsea? But for my case, I believe he's going to go for this man. He's going to go for Freddy, because Eriksen has been playing every game of Manchester United. And I think the performance of Freddy is giving the manager a breather to really rest Eriksen, because Eriksen got his first rest ever since this season started in the game of Real Sociedad at Old Trafford, when he played only 45 minutes and Bruno was brought on in the second half. Ever since then, he has been playing 90 minutes in every game. Now, in the game of Newcastle, he never played a single minute. He was rested. Then, in the game of a team which goes by the names of Spurs, he played like 10-15 minutes. And obviously, I believe in this game also, the manager is going to bench him and start Freddy, because the way to really give confidence to your player who has been performing very well is to really go ahead and really field him in this game of football, like United has to do, or Ten Hag has to do in this game of Chelsea. Reward Freddy for his performance. And I believe the moment you don't pick Freddy in this game, then his confidence is going to be killed. That's it. His confidence is going to be killed and dead. So I believe you have to reward Freddy for his performance against Spurs, and obviously I believe he's going to start. And we are going back to a Brazilian double midfield pivot. And as I told you, that the manager of the Brazilian national team, Tite, is outside there smiling, because this is what he wants. He wants to see these people getting enough playing time, because they are preparing for the World Cup, and Brazil is one of those favorites that people are really looking at. So I believe you're really going to go on and see that double midfield pivot. Then the central attack midfield, Captain Fantastic Bruno Fernandez. I think in the last 6 months, Bruno has gone ahead to have his good game. I think he last had a good game when he withdrew away at Villa Park 2-2. You remember that very well. When I think he scored both goals. I remember he scored both goals and he played very well. The ball distribution was on point, and for the entire 90 minutes, Bruno was really a killer, and he really had that killer instinct in him, and obviously his rhythm was way up there. But ever since then, he dropped off. But I believe this game, He put a little bit of passes wrong, but if I told you to really compare the ones he put on wrong and right, I believe the percentage of those that he put right was close to 93%. So I believe his passing accuracy was really exquisite. It was superlative, and obviously he deserves to start as a central attacking midfielder for a side which goes by the names of Manchester United. This game of football where we are going to be hosted by Chelsea in that midfield. And obviously that is the killer man. To me, he really scored the second goal, responsible for the first goal too, because Casemiro won the header in the midfield, and then Bruno came in through and really won that ball that I think Yefis Besuma was reluctant to find, and he passed into Anthony. Anthony laid it to Sancho. Sancho did the patience bit that we all know about him and laid that ball to find Freddy, and Freddy was really trying to press it and really curl it onto the left side of the goal, but it deflected off the defender of Spurs and it went onto the right bottom corner, hence making it 1-0. The second goal, very much taken with good skill, and I think Rashford should really learn from Bruno. If at all, I think Bruno was the one that found himself in the positions that Marcus Rashford found himself in the first half and second half. 3 times Rashford faced Hugo Lloris and he couldn't go in for the curling effort, all for the technique. He went for energy, something that I don't really agree with. You see, when you're center forward, energy doesn't work, because I've seen most of the prolific strikers. Look even at Haaland. How many times does he go for energy? He goes for energy every time he's outside the 18 yards box area, but his energy has technique. You get? You know, there is what we call pressing that ball, curling it on the far post when it is really a technique. You get? Look at Anthony. That curling effort he went for that really hit the lower bottom post. You get? Because he went in for the skill. So Rashford needs to go in for those colors. You get? For those colors, dinks. You get? You dink the ball over the goalkeeper, and Martial does it better. That's why I'm alarming for him to come in through, and I believe he's going to be available in this game of Chelsea, as the saga of Ronaldo really tries to take twist into this. So I believe Bruno is going to go on and really do well. Then let's go to the right attacking midfielder. Again, Anthony. Amidst him scoring 3 goals in his first 3 games, he never always put up fantastic performances, but everything I've been calling in from these wide forwards of Manchester United is something that I saw today. So I saw from a player who goes by the names of Anthony, because I was calling in creativity from the fullbacks of United. I continuously went ahead to call in performances from the wide forwards of United or the wide wingers of United. Anthony did this perfectly in that game of a team which goes by the names of Tottenham Hotspur. But what helped him really do that, it was Bruno Fernandez going always for the wide forwards. You get? Looked so much into the half space and the wide spaces to find Anthony, because Anthony has been facing a problem of not getting that ball in the areas he wants it. That is one of the problems Anthony has been facing. He needs that ball in the areas where he wants it. And you saw to it that each and every time you get that ball to him in the half spaces, he will go on and really cut inside easily and then lay that ball to find Sancho or any well-placed player. And then we get the goal. So you saw Anthony play like that, and we got those goals through his effort of cutting inside and laying that pass to find Sancho and Bruno respectively, that resulted into those 2 goals. So I believe he had his best game for United, played very well, and I believe he's really going to be a threat against Chelsea, because he is really going to be so much onto the ball, being fed by Casemiro and Bruno. And this is what I want from Bruno. Let him shooting, scoring, going for Hollywood passes. Let that be a second thought. You get? His first thought should be look through the center forward, look at the wide forwards, that is Sancho, and a man who goes by the names of Anthony. Talking of Sancho, I believe he's really going to start this game of football again, having played badly against Man City, not tracking back, even in the game of a team which goes by the names of Omonia, conceding that goal because of his sloppy pass he gave to Malacia. He was closed down, and Sancho never tracked back again. You get that very well. Obviously, that takes us to the next level of really dropping him in the game of Everton. He never played a minute. In the game of Omonia, came in through, played like 15 minutes, and obviously the manager said, all right, you are really getting to where I want you to be, because he put in that assist for a man who goes by the names of Scott McTominay. In the game of Newcastle, played very well, though I saw people selecting him, but he played very well. He called even for penalty. There was a penalty call courtesy of his bringing down by a certain defender, was it Bootman of Newcastle, but the referee just waved on and told the people, let's go on and play. So I believe he had a lot for us to play into this game of football. So Sancho is really going to play that side. And secondly, there are things they're not highlighting about Sancho that we should be really talking about. Sancho put up an assist in the game of Omonia that Scott McTominay scored late. He would have gotten an assist of a penalty in the game of a team which goes by names of Newcastle. The referee denied as a penalty. Remember that pass he gave Anthony towards the end of the first half in the game of Newcastle, and Anthony went in for that shot. So he's playing very well. And one thing I like about Sancho is that he's not selfish. He's not selfish. In those areas where you think that he's going to go ahead and really go for a solo effort or try out something that is hard, he doesn't go for that. His patience with the ball and obviously lays it out to find players. And he made an assist for a man who goes by the names of Freddy. So in 3 games he has played consecutively, he has created 2 chances. You get? What a way to play such a player, because we have been always alarming that our center forwards are not getting chances. And if at all there is a player that is doing this, it has to be Sancho and Anthony. And I believe there is a lot of improvement between Sancho and Anthony, and obviously I believe we are going to see this more and more and more often in this game of football as we really go forward. So I believe Sancho should start in there for you, and the player to lead the line, obviously I believe Marcus Rashford is going to lead the line, because Ronaldo is out, Martial is just returning, and obviously Rashford should really start the line against Chelsea. And I believe playing Chelsea, I believe Ten Hag is going to give them a little bit of respect, and I believe we are going to play a little bit deep, but a high line is going to be maintained by United, but our press is really going to be intense. But I think there are going to be spaces behind the back 3 or back 5 of Chelsea that we can really penetrate in through and see Rashford really blister into those spaces and pockets of space being formed by likes of Casemiro, Sancho, you get Freddy, Rodriguez and Bruno. I believe that's going to be the training that Erik Ten Hag is going to be working on today in training as far as this team is concerned of Manchester United. So I believe Anthony, Sancho, Bruno, Rashford, those are our forwards. Our midfield pivot is going to be Casemiro, and obviously a man who goes by the names of Luke Shaw is going to go on and read with the needful in this game of football and play as the left back. So that is my predicted lineup. I believe you're going to go on like that, but we have to watch along on Reece James. This side where there is Luke Shaw and Sancho, Reece James is really going to be one of those players that's going to come in and really put in an effort. Obviously, we should look at Aubameyang, Kai Havertz, very good player, and obviously Raheem Sterling, because for him, however much he never scored against us well as at Man City, but I believe he can hurt us against Chelsea because he's really one of those players that is really good and always nice. But let's go to the head-to-head. This starts coming in from the website of the Premier League that you guys need to see. So they are telling us that head-to-head, Chelsea versus Manchester United, and this is what we are having. 60 games have been played in between these two teams, that is Manchester United and Chelsea. 73 goals scored by Chelsea, 74 goals scored by Manchester United. Obviously, we are having 17 wins over Chelsea, 25 draws in the entire 60 games played, and 18 wins Chelsea has got them. Because for me, I believe Chelsea has always been that tricky side. Ever since I tried to watch Manchester United in 1999, 1998, Chelsea has been one of those teams that has always caused trouble to us each and every time we travel to the Stamford Bridge. So I believe this time round, we should go on and really cause a havoc to the side which goes by names of Chelsea. Because last season, the games ended 1-1. And I believe if at all we have a better manager and the players that we have are really more better than those of Chelsea, and the consistency that Erik Ten Hag is really building up in his team, I believe we can go ahead and really hunt them down. 3 penalties won by Chelsea, 5 penalties won by Manchester United, then 3 penalties scored by Chelsea, 4 penalties scored by Manchester United, 19 clean sheets were kept by Chelsea in this fixture, and obviously United has kept 16 clean sheets in this fixture, 140 yellow cards issued to a team which goes by the names of Chelsea, 133 yellow cards issued to Manchester United, 6 red cards issued to Chelsea, 4 red cards issued to a side which goes by the names of Chelsea. So it shows you how close this game of football is, and obviously we should go in and really call this game and really win it in a style of play. So I believe we should really be so much consistent in the midfield, because I know the back four is really ready to go on and defend our team outside there, but the midfield of Freddy and Casemiro should press that midfield of Chelsea to go on and redo the needful. But the good thing is that Conte and Graham Potter play the same system. You get, though the quality of players differ, but play the same system. If at all Erik ten Hag beat the same system, I think if at all Harry Potter brings back the same system, then it's really going to be another old song in there for you, because I believe it's really going to go our side. I think Graham Potter, being a very good manager, he can really notice it and really change the system of play. I think he goes with the back four, because the back three of United, the back three of Spurs was really suffocated when Erik ten Hag chose to go in for a press of 5 players to press the back three and then the wide forwards. Sorry, the wing backs. So it shows you how much they need to go ahead and change in the game of football. But I believe if we don't draw this game, we are beating Chelsea by 2-1. 1-1 draw, 2-2 draw, or a 2-1 win for United. I don't see a win for Chelsea this time around. I don't see it. I'm sorry to say this, but I don't see it. I don't see a win for Chelsea in this game. I believe we are going in this game very much focused on being the better side. I don't know what you think about it. Go into the comment section. Tell me what you think about this game of football. Chelsea versus Manchester United. I've brought you the breakup. Graham Potter, very good manager. Ten Hag, very good manager. Exciting managers are really going to meet one another. So they all believe in an attacking style of football. And should United go in all out on Graham Potter, then we are really going to be having a very brilliant game. Will Graham Potter sit behind and leave the ball to Manchester United and then get United in the break? I doubt. I believe he's going to go in for an effort of really playing his usual way and going in for a win, because he has played very many games, but this is his first game that is facing a big side that plays in the top 6. And he knows that when he loses to United is going to dislodge him from the 4th place, because they're having 20 points, United is having 19, and obviously if at all United wins the game against Chelsea, then they will be 4th and Chelsea will be 5th. So I believe he has so much to save for his position at Chelsea, and obviously going down in records that when he faced the first member of the Big 6, he really beat him in there for you. So I believe Ten Hag wants this game, Graham Potter wants this game badly, because it's really a game changer and a position changer in the Premier League. So guys, your predictions are welcome in the comment section below. I go by the names of Rock and David. Thank you guys for watching in. I'm returning back with the presser of Erik ten Hag as far as this Chelsea game is concerned. But my big concern is going to be onto Donny van Beek and Anton Martial. Are they back? That's what I really want to see happen in this game of football. I sign out for now. See you later. May the Almighty God protect you and provide to you abundantly. I'm out.